And we are live. At least that's what the little box up there in the YouTube says. And so here we are for another Workshop Wednesday. How is everybody? Has everybody been having a good week? I know there's been a bunch of crazy things and whatnot going on, and we'll dive deep into that as much as you guys want to. I'm going to go through some comments, give some shout outs and some hellos like we always do. Somebody was first, but it's not showing me on my end because Texas says second. And again, 308 by 308. It's never a show until we get that. So, welcome, brother. Great to have you here. Divinely Blessed Designs. Shalom and welcome. Great to see you. I see JS Genesis has made it. Excellent. Love to have you guys here. Heaven's Fire has made it on. Great to have you here as well. I see Janet's back. It is great to see you back. Let's see. Exhausted, did my 8 hours at work, garden for 3 hours, Walmart with the yuck. I agree. And then supper, followed by a shower, and hope to stay awake for the whole show. Hey, you and I have something in common. All right, who else do we have here? Dun, dun, dun. Just run down. I see STP. And I'll show this again, but I have to show this off. I did get this in the mail. Look how pretty that is. That's going to go right into my cherished keepsakes right there. I have a official STP channel round. So that'll go right there and join the friends. Who else do we have here? Yes, thank you. Smash that like button. I'm really bad about doing all that. Trying to get down through in here. You guys are all just going through. KP, I see that you're here. Welcome. Thank you so much. The 5x5s are starting to roll in. Greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to agree. It's been a rough week. I watched your stuff there, STP, on your update. And prayers still continue to go into your direction. There's the OG Blue Wrench off Gridmaster. Welcome, welcome. Silver by silver. And I agree. Yes, it is a nice coin. And absolutely, it made it here safe. I have it. It is cherished. And it's funny that you say that. I was actually text messaging maybe an hour or so before I went live with Hudson Valley. I donated a blade when they were doing their fundraising for STP. Got it all packaged up, got it mailed out, and then they reached out to Hudson Valley and said they never got it. Thankfully, I kept all the receipts and everything, put the tracking number in. It says it's been delivered. So looks like tomorrow I've got a little bit of work to do with the USPS to make sure that they got their prize. And I will make sure they got taken care of. They did it for a good cause, and it's nothing of their fault. So we'll work something out. We will work something out. Yes. Yep. And a shout out goes to Scorpion Metals. I'm sure he'll pop in here. He's a very, very busy man, but he does absolutely beautiful work. As you guys have seen, the STP coin, absolutely beautiful. I do have the OP Nation from the Orlando Prepper. Beautiful, beautiful work. As well as I did have a couple of the Caleb House. These will be going into the Caleb House auction. Once I get everything all squared away on my end, I kind of had to push it back just slightly. But yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it. And I agree. Yes, USPS is not. We had a little conversation. Let me know down in the chat before I get too involved into this. USPS is a governmental organization, and who I was talking with, we come to the determination that if you are sending out private mail, since you are a taxpayer and part of your taxes goes to the USPS, shouldn't personal mail be free? Just saying. Just saying. Hey, there he is. Speak of the living legend himself. The Orlando Prepper has made it into the house. Great to see you. Glad to have you aboard. All right, everybody. If you're new here, welcome. Great to have you. If you're not new here, you guys know that I love each and every one of you. And so, if you are new, this is a 1 hour live Q&A where pretty much anything goes. This is all geared around you. I bring a little bit to the table, but it's basically your show. You guys are more than welcome to talk amongst yourselves, but feel free to throw in the chat any questions, comments, concerns, topics, anything that you would like to discuss, and we will keep everything rolling. We've got about another 55 minutes ish to fellowship, have some fun, pass some knowledge around, and maybe a laugh or two. We'll see where the night takes us, because you never know about when it comes to one of these lives on this channel. I just ask that you be adult. It's okay to disagree. I actually welcome disagreements. That's how things are done when you're an adult. If you're going to be a jerk, there's plenty of blue wrenches, and they will not hesitate to show you the door. So, with that stuff out of the way, let's see. Dun, 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 bum, bum, bum. Do we have anything? I see Alpha. Hey, welcome back, Alpha. Nice to see you. Let's see. I did set up. Ooh, going to do a video. Excellent. We will all be looking forward to it. Let's see. I can't, don't want to do an hour. Yeah, I saw Pinball's video this morning on UPS that he was having some issues. I don't know what's going on with the delivery system nowadays, but man. There's Amy, Leonard Mountain Homestead. Heading back to the house. I'll jump on when I get home. You just be careful and safe. You can always catch the replay. I'd rather you be safe than do anything that might put you into some jeopardy, because I'm sure you probably even have a little one with you. Which reminds me, if you are watching the replay, if you will do a little comment down there, says, hashtag replay crew or something like that. It's greatly appreciated. Lets me know that people come in here and watch after the live goes off. So, enjoyed your vehicle, SHTF vehicle, and made me realize I don't know how to change a tire, and hubby usually does. Yes. And I loved your comment on that video. We've been doing that tools for SHTF, a little mini series that has been really, really good. I've gotten so much positive feedback from that, of people that's just like, wow, it really made me think. It really got everything going. I thought, I had some stuff, or I just took some things for granted or anything. Kind of like right here with Janet and the example that she's putting out there. Husband always did it. Okay. And I can't say anything it's different than my house. The only thing is Mrs. Earl does know how to do it. I made sure that she does, but as long as I'm around, I'm going to do it. That's just the way it is. But I wanted to make sure that in some sort of event, if I am unable for whatever reason, she at least has an understanding, and now she has that capability and that knowledge and the confidence to do it. So, yeah, I'm happy that everybody seemed to really like that mini series. We might end up doing a couple of more of those sort of things. So please tell Marissa that the package will be delayed as I'm on workman's comp. Oh no, Texas. Prayers to you, buddy. Man, everybody's having a little bit. Invested in a USB powered heating pad for the back. I can use it in the car. That is awesome. I didn't know that they made heating pads. Heat brings out a lot of power. There's a lot of people that don't understand that. When you're talking about a heating pad, or one of the small, 12-volt plug-in heaters or anything along those lines, heat takes a ton of power. And some of the people, I think, might be in a rude awakening when they don't go through and they don't do the math. They don't do the due diligence when they start setting things up. They think I've got a battery and a little solar panel or whatever, and I'll stay warm all winter. Hopefully you did the math on that. I see Dana's here. Dana, welcome. Glad to see you here. Let's see. Who else do we got? Oh, yep. And what happened? We're all waiting. My pain doctor told me, really interesting. I'm going to have to go look that up. That is absolutely interesting. We lost electricity last night due to the thunderstorm, and the wifey and the kids played card games. Excellent. Yeah, we just we put out that video on prepping for boredom. We are in that severe weather time. It might be a great thing to go through and revisit that for anybody. That's kind of half the reason why I put that out. You never know when something's going to happen. It could be something to where the power's out for an hour, a couple hours, a day, the weekend, whatever. And it's probably going to be very localized, maybe regional, but it's going to be one of the things that you're going to have boredom. And if you do not prep for boredom, you've been in it. You've taken some sort of class. You've been at work. You've been in a waiting room, and when you're just watching the clock, it makes everything miserable. And part of going through an SHTF situation is to try and do it as comfortably as possible. You don't want to be struggling every single day. You actually want to be able to relax and laugh and smile and feel human. And so boredom is going to be part of that mental aspect of SHTF. And I think it's just often overlooked. So the old fashioned hot water bottle. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, that's a good one. I don't even know if I even have one of those. That is a really good point. My dad made us change tires when we got our license. He made all four of the daughters learn how to change tires, check fluid, etc., before they could drive solo. Amen. Somebody's got a good daddy raising them up. And I'm curious to know, Susan, did you think at the time, like, why in the world? I can just pay somebody, or I can do this, or I can ask my friend or my boyfriend, girl, whatever. I can ask somebody else to do it. Why do I have to do it? Or, you know, was you happy to learn back then? Just curious. Just curious. 762 by 39 JS Genesis is back. Great to see you back, my friend. Thinking about doing a video on hurricane preparedness. Please do. And when you do, let me know. I will share that out. Let's see. Slept through the storms last night. I don't know if you can hear it on my metal roof. It is downpouring right now. So hopefully my internet holds. Let's see. When I was in my early 20s, I was married to a deadbeat, and I always changed my own oil and tires. One day on my way home from work, car full of, yep, pulled over, and yep. And I tell you, there's been time and time again where I've seen people that do that. They're frustrated, or they just don't really have the interest. They I don't want to learn how to change a tire. There's no reason for me to. And then the time comes, and all of a sudden they're extremely thankful that somebody took the time. And I'm in the point in my life now, if I have somebody that's able-bodied that comes over and goes, hey, I'll give you whatever X amount of dollars if you change my oil in my car, I will literally look at them and I will say, listen, I will do it for X amount of money, or I'll do it for free if I can teach you how to do it. And you will be surprised on the amount of people that'll go, nope, here's the money. And you'll be surprised on the amount of people that'll go, you know what? That sounds like a really great idea. Please teach me. During training for active shooter while being assisted in getting up, oh, the knee gave out along with a torn ACL. Ouch, buddy. I'm sorry. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Yep, yep. Let's see. Dispatch with tire iron in the car, threw it in the trunk, dress and heels. That's awesome. The hubby and I got the supplies to start making our own soap and shampoo, going to use the fresh herbs we've been growing in our garden. Excellent, excellent. We started to make our own pain and hand creams. Absolutely amazing, Alpha. And I tell you what, all that right there, if you want to share that stuff, if you don't have a channel or anything along those lines, send me an email or get with me if you want to share out your process, how it's going, if this is your first time. any sort of learning anything that might help some other people. That would be some amazing info to share. So we have another new one, and man, I'm so bad with names. So if I'm gonna go with a Bridazzle. Goodness, I hope I got that right. Welcome. Hopefully you don't leave because I probably mispronounced the name, but I was a member recently and asked a question regarding which ball bearing to use for a soft target, small versus large for easy penetration. Now I do not have access. Interesting. Interesting. Well, let's see. Ask question which ball bearing to use for a soft target. Okay, if we're talking code, it's going to go way above me. If we're talking non-code, um, let's see. On if you're actually using ball bearing, so if we're doing something like that, um, there's a lot that goes into it. That's a very difficult question to do. Either way we go, I tell you what, the question ball bearings would be good for a hand slingshot. Yes. Okay. That's what I was hoping that you were getting at. So when you're getting into something with a slingshot, and then here we go, here's my opinion. Okay. When you get into something like that, you're going to want to have enough mass in order to be able to do what you're intending on doing. So if you go really, really big, huge, heavy ball bearing, you're going to have a much bigger draw. You're going to get a shorter distance, a shorter flat line before it starts to, gravity starts pulling on it. And depending on, your target, let's say that you've got a huge, 3/4 1 inch ball bearing and you're trying to hit a squirrel, you could decimate the squirrel depending. But then again, you also don't want to be going after something bigger, like, I don't know, let's say a raccoon or something, and you have, something really, really small. It's going to sting, but it's not really going to do much in order to take out your target. And so you're going to have to find something that is medium range and you're going to want to practice with it. I would set up different targets that are made out of different materials. One, it'll help you with target practice. So that way your aim is good, as well as your distance, how far you've got to pull back at various distances, different things like that. But you can also get into a practicing of what it does to something soft like cardboard versus something harder like a sheet, real thin sheet of steel or something like that. That's going to be the best way. It's going to be hard to figure out because you're not talking about a mass produced projectile. You've got so many variations between how many rubber bands, your physical strength. There's a lot into it. The best advice I can give: grab a few different options and grab a few different targets and start writing data down. Start trying to put it all down so that way you can go through and uh, figure out what's going to work the absolute best for you. I made a batch of lip balm with fresh mint and mullein and works wonders on chapped. Excellent. Excellent. And I agree. And I tell you, when people start sharing, and I'm gonna go off on another tangent. I apologize. I told you I don't know what happens when it comes to these lives. There's so many people that don't have a channel because they feel that they don't know anything to share. They're camera shy, this, that, and everything else. Whatever the thing, one, I want to encourage you. If you want to make a channel, even if you're only going to put out a couple of videos a year, it's okay. You don't have to put out something every single day and all that other stuff. Put out what you're comfortable with. But two, and you don't even have to show your face. You can just narrate. Just point your camera out the window, stand behind it, and just start narrating. People want to know what you know. They will tune in and they will watch. It may be one or two, it may be 20. You don't know until you put it out there. Uh, but we're networking. We are a prepping community, and so it's that whole thing of sharing. Even if it's a failure, If you're making lip balm and you go, I mixed this, this, and this, and it was horrible, you're teaching everybody that doesn't work. It's still valuable information. So anytime that you guys want to share anything, just hit me up. Let's see, when someone wants me to knit them a pair of socks, there you go. Yep. Yep. And I see that a lot. Yeah. I see exactly what. Okay. Yeah, we got to that one. Dana, let me know if I answered that question well enough. Absolutely love to share the info with you and love to send you. Yes. Yes. Please, by all means. Let's see. For my birthday last year, hubby got me a compound competition slingshot that came with a laser sight. Man, I watched some videos. That is awesome. I didn't even know you could put a laser on there, but I suppose with today's technology, they put a laser on just about anything. So I see that Dead End Homesteading found their way in. Great to see you. Welcome back. We we're having a good time now. I've seen a few people in the chat, including me, that's had a pretty interesting last couple of days or whatnot. So, but we're all here. That's what matters, right? Let's see. Tell me again why I knit with 100% silk yarn. And I tell you what, I bought all the stuff so I can learn knitting, and I still haven't got it around. I will do it. I'm gonna figure it all out. Linda Farrow's here. Welcome, Linda. Great to see you. I see you over on OP Nation on his lives and everything. It's great to see you. Nice to have you drop on by. Young Einstein said M equals MC squared. Let's see. Don't want anybody. Hey, I tell you what, here we go. Here goes another tangent. Uh, I recommend a lot of channels. Some channels curse, some channels don't. Some, you know, say a word here and there. I recommended a certain channel, and I had a subscriber come back and just send me all sorts of paragraphs about, I cannot believe that you recommend this channel. They have filthy language. And I'm sitting here like, you know, it's kind of like an art form, or even, how do you want to put it? Well, let's say that they're a singer. Some people will go through and make an entire album, if not a whole career, without using a single word. Some of it, they curse in every single song, and sometimes it's hit and miss. You know, this song has something, the next three don't. You're going to find out what you can listen to. You know, and it's one of the ones. Just because I like it and enjoy it doesn't mean that somebody else isn't. But that was awfully interesting. But yeah, no, if you be you, that's the greatest advice that you're going to get from just about anybody. When you go on to try and make content, don't try and be what you're not, because people will see directly through you and eat you alive. Welcome to the internet, right? Uh, but no, be you. The more you are you, the more people are going to relate to you. The others, they'll just weed themselves out. So let's see. Man, I'm getting down here. So what do you think about the Fed warning that 63 banks are on the verge of failure? Yeah, I saw Pinball talking about that. I was doing a little research back when it was 52 banks or something along those lines. There's a lot. And actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this as a little bit of a segue. So um, let's just check and see how things are doing. So here's our dollar index. And as you can see, dismiss, get away from there. The dollar's down for the day, 17 cents down. Let's see where we was 5 days ago. So yeah, you can see right there, everything's kind of doing a little bit of a down. Let's just go for a month and see. Yeah, you can see it. A little dead cat bounce, kind of a little roller coaster, but you can see right there, if you just draw a line, it's on its way down. Sad, sad, sad. But let's see. If I bring me back, let's go ahead and check where we are with precious metals. Man, look at the ads today. So it looks like We have gold is up, silver's up, platinum's up. So right there about across the board, everything looks like it is up. So dollars down, precious metals up. That is probably way it should be. And let's look at one more thing real quick before we bounce out of the sharing of things. And let's look at that one. There we go. So here's our debt. If you haven't seen, now this is probably not actual or anything, but I would say it's a good baseline. If you see right here where my cursor is up in the upper left-hand corner, that is U.S. national debt getting ready to turn $34.8 trillion in debt. Now they take and they put that up there to make it to where it catches your eyeball. But if you start going down, 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 right here where it says U.S. total debt, that is the true number, $100 trillion in debt. Yeah. So to get back into that off my little bit of a tangent, what do I think about it? I think it's just another it's an indicator. It's a red flag. It's there is something coming. How bad's it going to be? I don't know. All signs are starting to look like there's some sort of collapse coming. And we can speculate. We can say that it's going to be devastating. We could say that it's going to be a correction. We can whatever, but something bad is definitely coming. There's too many bank failures. There's too much play and manipulation in the market, and there's so much going on globally. Watching everybody, if you watch the stock markets all over the world, you watch the price of oil per barrel fluctuate and go all over the place. Something's coming. I'll leave it at that. Something's coming. I hope that goes through. I know it's a little bit of a cheat on that, but I can't imagine using silk yarn. I can't imagine using yarn. But then again, when I bought my knitting needles, I think it's what it's called, I was going to try and knit with paracord. So I should probably start out with yarn so I understand. So, and you are very welcome. We always try and do a warm welcome here. Everybody's welcome. What else do we got? Dun, 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 dun. I try, but it's too gosh dang hard. I crocheted a dozen blankets last year, have an unhealthy obsession with having many blankets as possible. Nothing wrong with that. It's one of them ones, there's a difference between strategically stockpiling and hoarding. If you can make it through your house, then I would say that when some SHTF situation happens or something like that, you're going to be thankful for having those blankets. And even if you have a few extras, your neighbors, your friends, your family, whoever's around you is going to be very thankful for it. So if you say unhealthy, if you can't make it from the bedroom to the bathroom without tripping over, maybe I'll agree with you. But and then if that case, hey, get with me. We'll auction a few off or donate them, or we'll find something to do with them. But I would say that you're probably fine. If you're passionate about your topic, you might drop a bad word every now and then. I've done it. Fair warning, I've done it. It's who you are. It is what it is. And you can always tell when somebody's holding back and you're just like, please, just let it go. See, I have one more Afghan to make for my granddaughter. Then all 12 are done. Man, sounds like some work. Internet's horrible tonight. Yeah. With the downpour above me, I'm watching my little bars kind of flicker. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes. Sorry if you get worked up over language. Yeah. When the poo hits the fan, trust me, and I've seen a bunch of different things. And I get it. If something's uncomfortable, you have that freedom, and we can get in on that for a little bit. Your freedom doesn't stop my freedom. There's a thing called mutual respect. Back when I was smoking cigarettes, I didn't care. I got away from everybody else, and they're like, "No, no, it's fine. You can come back." No, it's just what it is. I'm just being respectful. But it's the same thing. Hearing a bad word is not going to cause anybody any pain, anguish, anything along those lines. Uh, they might get offended or not like it, but yeah, that's going to be one of the things that when, as you say, everything hits. I certainly hope that you're not going to go kind of Captain America while everybody's running around, with fire and everything in the background and total chaos and anarchy. That you're going to be like, listen, young man, language. Let's see, 50% off coupon on the entry level solar power bank. Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Yes. Oh, great. If you have a blue wrench, please feel free to start dropping links to your channel, anybody's channel. Um, if you have a YouTube channel and you do not have a blue wrench, say something in the chat. I'll either have one of the wrenches post your stuff or I'll give you a wrench. Let's see. Did you see the report on the ARM ticket is already stockpiled for yes? Yeah. Do you think that it'll be required to vote? That's a good one. That's a really good question. Um, there is some of the guys that kind of get together and they do kind of a roundtable discussion. It's off air and it's meant to be that way so everybody can just breathe and be really relaxed and all that. So no recording, no nothing. And they talk about stuff like this. Um, Small thing before I answer that one. They actually had a really good one, and I enjoy these because it really makes you think. Is if China is buddying up with Russia, so Russia really feels boldened and empowered, runs all the way over here to where Ukraine is and pushes all their people. We gotta make sure NATO stays here while we go here. And when they're all the way over there, China's making everybody look at Taiwan. But what happens if China just goes north and starts taking Russia? All the people are on the other side of the country, and they've got their hands full. It's not like they can just pack up all their military stuff and run back. And that really got me thinking. There's another one. Let me answer yours and then I'll do the other topic because it really, really got me thinking. So, did I see that? Yes, I saw it. Do I think it'll be required? That's a good question. I could see them pushing for something along those lines, especially and trying to keep political sides and everything out of this. Um, when you have red team saying voter ID, voter ID, voter ID, which real quick, I agree with. I think you should have a voter ID. But they'll do something along these lines. All right, well then you've got to have your arm ticket ID. That'll be how you do it. Uh, and I could definitely see that. So, um, yeah, yeah. I hope that answers that question on there. But one of the other ones before I run down through here on the rest of these questions, they were actually talking about WW3 starting up. And the way that they got everybody thinking in the roundtable was they posed the question of instead of doing a draft, anybody who is a registered firearm owner immediately just goes over to the front lines because you're already trained. You don't need training. You already know how to use a firearm. And what that does is it gets rid of people with firearms, or the people with firearms suddenly get rid of their firearms and now you have a disarmed populace. So that really got me thinking because as much as I've never had that thought cross my mind, that is very easily something that's plausible that could happen. Now, yes, it's against a bunch of amendments and probably rules, laws, regulations, and every other thing, but I wouldn't put them past them, and to think a couple of guys could think of that, I'm sure some of these really smart people in a bunch of suits, sitting up in DC have probably thought about that a lot. So we need to get a house built for all crashes, yeah, and winter huts. And I hope you do. Hope you do. Planning a big meat order to get all canned next week. Excellent. Excellent. We were just talking actually at work about how many guys want to go in and share a cow. So get ready for the Fed's new slip in legislation that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are going to use tax dollars to support second mortgages for people. Interesting. Interesting. I didn't see that. Just seen it today. I think you have my email off Gridmaster. Actually, I know you do. If you still have that link to that, let me know. I'd be interested in reading that. What else do we got here? Didn't realize how many blankets we had until we had to move everything out of the house. Plenty to use and even more for barter. Yeah, yeah. Trust me. You get somebody that's cold, a blanket's worth a ton. Same thing. Somebody that's thirsty, that bottle of water is worth a ton. When it comes to bartering, it's all about needs. It's not about $5 or an ounce of silver or anything like that. It's going to become needs. What do they absolutely need? Because they're not going to care about anything else. So, great way to put that out. I only use 100% silk for chemo caps. My mom said that they were the only caps that didn't hurt her. Interesting. Yeah, I can see that. That's actually interesting because that's something I would never even thought about that. Yeah, right there. Makes sense. Completely agree. Thank you, Off Grid Master, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. We're starting to get a little bit of the stuff. Man, I hope I'm catching up in the comments. Retired military and retired from the sheriff's office. I can cuss in 7 different languages. Oh, I hate to, but hop off. Bad internet connections driving me nuts. I completely understand, Divine. Thank you for hanging out with us. All skills learned now are skills that can be used later. Most skills are, yes, absolutely. Knowledge is power. We learned that from, at least I did in childhood, G.I. Joe. Knowing's half the battle. And it, again, you can take the latest and greatest of whatever tool, weapon, anything, and put it in the hands of somebody that doesn't even know what it is, versus you could take a stick or a number 2 pencil and put it into a very skilled hands, and which one's going to be more of a threat. So yeah, skill and knowledge is going to be the biggest ones. Let's see. Oh, I see Amy made it back. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. You guys are all doing. No. You can do all caps. I don't do all caps for questions yet because we're not quite that big. But we'll probably be getting there probably soon. Is there ever any free Sarah? I keep showing up for the. We did the free silver. I'm disabled, and that helped me get my CCW, so I can defend myself and the kids, even in the physical limitations. Yes. What was it? Colt, I believe. Man, I hope I got that right, because there's going to be some firearms person that's going to correct me if I'm not. But wasn't it Colt that said that God did not make all men equal, but Colt sure did? I hope I got that one right. Let's see. Oh, I see one here. Do the 3-letter people keep track of slingshots and other non-licensed sale for any projectiles sporting items? No. As far as I know, they do not. And it's really easy to make them yourself. Um, yeah, I wouldn't imagine them even being ever considered to do anything along those lines. So yeah, and probably even more so than if you was to go buy a crossbow, a compound bow, anything along those lines. I would say that they probably even secretly track those. But anything that you could probably walk down and buy, an aisle 12 of Walmart and not get ID'd for, I would say that you're probably okay. Until CBDC gets here, and then they know absolutely everything you buy. But how's the new job going? It is going absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Susan, so much for asking. Um, and we'll see how everything goes. So far, everything's going really, really well. But my trainer starts vacation Friday and goes all next week, and so I'm kind of being thrown a little bit to the fire, but it'll be fine. It'll be completely fine. Good group of people there. Everything's great. So thank you for asking. Started canning green beans from the garden last week, dehydrating strawberries as we pick them too. Um, I tell you what, I have to almost every year I have to put another strawberry plant in because that is my favorite thing to do on the way out. I pass the strawberries and I will eat a couple as I go to weed or do something. And then if I take a break to come get some water, I grab a few more strawberries. So, as many strawberry plants as I have, I hardly ever get them inside. They always get consumed outside. So, started doing more fruit and vegetable hanging planters instead of flowers. Not all pretty, but they taste good. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm still a big proponent. You still need to have some sort of flower, especially if you're uh, kind of in that suburban area and then the city and things. You still have to bring pollinators in. So you need your bees and things like that. So remember your flowers. You don't necessarily have to have them, but it's a good idea, at least in my opinion. So you can curse with authority. I'm going to order a steam canner. Be easier to handle. Yeah, I've actually heard good things about that. Yeah, got another link. Let's see, 2008 housing crash with Obama era meets Venezuela. I mean, Obama helped jail the opposition in Venezuela. Guess I wonder who's behind the convictions of Cheeto Jesus. Yeah, and I believe it was yesterday, somebody sent me a link to Glenn Beck talking about the if he thinks there is a current color revolution going on now in the United States. Very, very good. I think it was only like a 15-minute episode. I thought I thoroughly enjoyed that one. In SER class, we learned all kinds of ways to use a ballpoint pen. Yeah, yeah. And when it comes down to that, you have to be strategic in what you have. So if you are going into a certain place that they will not allow you to carry anything lethal, courthouse, things like that, um, there is still other items that you can do. You just have to be creative and learn. We did a couple of videos on strategic, decor that you can have. It looks pretty. It doesn't look out of place, but you can get to it very, very quickly and use it as a defensive tool. Uh, but yeah, ballpoint pen, most of the time it doesn't matter where you go unless you go to like some maximum security prison or something like that. A ballpoint pen in your pocket or shoved up under the brim of your hat or something like that, or sitting just on your ear, it's not out of place. And use that to your advantage. Every day everybody's walking around with some sort of shoulder bag or fanny pack or something along those lines. Use that to your advantage. Just make that your little prepping EDC bag. Let's see. Yeah, okay, there it is. God made men and Sam Colt made them equal. Thank you. Thank you. I have and love my inexpensive pistol crossbow, easy to load and use, have both target tips and broadheads for it. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, and it's one of them right there. You're going to get somebody that's going to be like, no, 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 you can't use a pistol crossbow, this, that, the draw, blah, blah, blah. Look, if it works for you, you're comfortable, you're skilled in it, you've practiced, you've gotten everything down. If it works, it works. That's the entire point of all of this. Figure out what works for you. So, amen on that. There's the link for it. Excellent. Thank you for sharing. We have a very small raspberry patch on the corner of the garage. They almost get all eaten outside too. It is tough, and that's one of the big reasons why we went with a lot more fruit things this time around. Hopefully, if everything goes right, I will start producing grapes next season. And then the year after that, I should have the rest of my berries, all my blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, and all that thing. They should all be doing good, which um, especially for my strawberries. If I find that something's nibbled on one or one of them starting to go bad, I usually walk over to the tree line and I will toss them in hopes of maybe one or two plants will sprout every time that I do that. And it's just going to be one of them things. I'm going to let it go wild. It's out there in the tree line. I don't care what happens. One, it's a good perimeter thing that hopefully the little critters weedle off that and leave mine alone. But two, it gives me a double stock. If something happens to mine, then maybe I can go out there. If something happens to there, I have mine. If nothing happens to both of them, then I'm going to have a whole bunch. So win-win. So let's see. I have a small clock that could easily hide a 380. Yeah, yeah, and that goes into it too. Make sure you're strategic around every room in your house, uh, and do not care about what anybody says. Make sure, especially in your vulnerable areas, around your bed, because you don't want to be woke up in the middle of the night and happen to stumble and fumble and find something to defend yourself. Make sure in your vulnerability spots. So beside your bed, in the bathroom. Okay. That goes in that expression. Don't want to get caught with your pants down. You're there doing your business, and all of a sudden there's a loud crash. You don't need to be panicking. You need to be within arm's reach of some sort of defensive tool, mechanism, whatever. And as far as every room of the house, the kitchen might be okay because you may have a kitchen knife or something real close by, but every room, the pantry, every bathroom, basement, attic, everything. And it doesn't have to be firearms, it doesn't have to be a blade, just something. So that way it gives you a little bit of an edge. Let's see. I love fresh berries, but not good at growing them. Not sure why. I grow everything else just fine. Um, Research your area. I have noticed, and I saw another prepping community just talking about this, that shipments got mixed up between, was a Sam's Club or a Lowe's or something like that, that they sent out the berry bushes, but it was for a different grow area, and people were buying them and planting them and complaining like none of these are growing. And it was the type of berry it was. It needed a whole different climate and soil setup and things like that. So research what it is you like. If you like blackberries, run off to whatever your search engine that you're using, type in blackberry 4 and put your state or wherever you're at, your grow zone, and see the types that pop up. Make sure that you're getting the correct plant for your area. Let's see. That might have happened to me. There's Mr. Leonard Mountain. Sup, buddy? I've always shared starts to berries and everything with the neighbors. So if mine die, I can just start it back from them. That's a great idea. Excellent idea. And that's where that networking and that sharing goes. There's a ton of people. It's mine. I'm not giving it up. It's mine. Well, listen, if you give up a little bit, it may pay dividends back to you. You may end up, instead of being the one where you're like, I'm just going to hoard it all. If you shared a little bit, maybe yours gets devastated for whatever reason. Animals come in, somebody comes in, fire, flood, whatever. But maybe your neighbor survived and your neighbor only got it because of you. Now, they're more willing to share. Hey, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have these in the first place. So, yeah, good on you. Also, where you keep a can of wasp spray. Yeah, yeah. And whatever it is, doesn't matter. Wasp spray, hairspray, anything that's an aerosol that's a propellant or anything along those lines. Anything, even if it's a baseball bat, a pool stick, anything that you can get your hands on and use it defensively, that's the way to go. But yeah, good on that, Linda. Thank you for bringing that up. The neighbors don't touch on my daughter, and I thoroughly enjoy them, though. Hey, they're yours. Eat them up. Enjoy them. That's what they're there for. I can hide a lot in the shadow That's one of my superpowers. Oh, that's a good one. See? Let's see. I have something wink wink in every room of the house and carry a pepper spray everywhere. Yeah, very good on that. Excellent. That's exactly what I like to hear. And that's why we went through and we was doing the prepping related items that you can do for Mother's Day. I'm going to be making a video the same for Father's Day. Um, and you don't have to have that excuse. It doesn't have to be Mother's Day. It can be Christmas, birthday, or just because. It's a throw a party of welcome to the prepping community with one of your friends or relatives and toss them something. Here's a prepping book, a book on canning. Here's a knife. Here's a fire starting kit. Here's whatever. But yeah, to make sure that you go through and you have something and use that as prepper homework this weekend. Take a step in every room of the house, glance around and go, if somebody kicked my front door in right now, what is within arm's reach? Literally within 2 seconds, what can you grab to defend yourself? And see if anything surprises you. Let's see. We keep cans of bear mace throughout the house. Yep, that works perfect. It does. Um, and my thing with that, I'm very, very fortunate enough that when I received training for security purposes, that I had a very old school teacher, and he taught us that anything that you put in your hands to defend yourself can be taken and used against you. And so we were not allowed to on duty have anything unless it was used on us. So if you wanted to carry pepper spray, mace, anything along those lines, you had to go through the training to where it was used on you. One, it let you know what the person that you're doing it to gets, and two, if it was turned on you, how would you handle the situation? Same thing with tasers, stun guns, uh, any of that stuff. Trust me, I've been through it all. I've been shocked and my eyes have been burnt out and all that. It's not fun. I'm still alive. Those are less than lethal, non-lethal, if you will. Uh, but yeah, no. You get hit with it one time, usually, and the good stuff, not the cheaper Walmart. That's an eye irritant. That I would say a handful, if not more than a handful, of people can muscle their way through the cheaper stuff. But you get those really high end stuff, especially like bear mace. I've never been hit with bear mace. I'm not entirely sure, but I've been hit with law enforcement and military grade. That stuff's horrible, and I don't care what it is. When somebody points that in your direction, they have my attention. So dogs will send them packing. Yeah, dogs are a great, great little alarm system as well as a defensive tool. Make sure that they're well trained and things like that, and even test them out too. Have a friend come over or a neighbor or something, or have one of your neighbors' friends come over, somebody that they don't know, and have them toss a treat in the backyard and see, do they still stand at the fence barking and defending, or do they run over wagging their tail to the treat? Uh, put them through some tests. Let's see. And there's the Chuck Norris ones. I can tell when the Chuck Norris memes come out, then that means that we're getting close to the end. My dog will just sit there and lick you to death. Yeah, and a lot of dogs too. But it that's not necessarily a super bad thing. I still believe that dogs have that sixth sense, and that if you have that happy dog and it growls or it's uneasy about somebody, no matter their demeanor, I always listen to the dog. If the dog don't like you, there's a reason. I don't want to. I'm gonna keep my distance. But if the dog's all happy and wagging its tail and running up, it might be that split second thing that allows you to grab something or get into a better defensive position or anything along those lines. So you just got to use things to your advantage. Let's see, who else do we got? Yeah, getting tased sucks. Yes, it does. My law enforcement job, we have the same as far as what you carry. You have to feel it and defend. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely something that when you start putting your war belt on and start putting a bunch of things in there, when they look at you and say, pull it out, we're going to use it on you, and that crosses your mind, uh, it comes into that. There's a lot of people that they have a fire extinguisher and good on them that they have it, but they've never used one. And I have seen story after story where people buy things like pepper spray, mace, and then the time comes and they've never used it, that they end up spraying themselves or spraying the entire can and missing the person. There's a bunch. If you have a tool, use it, practice with it. Uh, there's a bunch that goes into it. The weather affects it. You can have it blow back on you. You can have it blow away from them. Rain affects your distance. There's different types of sprays between the spray and the gel, and there's a lot into it. So make sure that if you get something, especially if you're going to have it to where your life depends on it, train with it and use it. Yeah, we have stuff that has a 25-foot spray stream for distance and accuracy. Yeah. Have you ever shot it though? Have you ever measured it and made sure, or are you just going off the side of the can? Not saying anything against you. I've seen cans where they advertise a distance and they shoot further. I've seen them where they advertise that and they don't come half as close. So I'm just curious on if you've actually used yours and if it holds up to what they're saying it does. I did read something about how honey would be put on the soles of the feet and the animal would keep licking and licking, and after a while, yeah, yeah. I think I've read something along that too. Mine will not take a treat unless I tell them it's okay. That's interesting. Somebody has a well-trained dog. Interesting. Teenager knows where the tasers and other tools are around the house in case something. Good, good. Yeah. Do not have it to where if you have kids in the house that you use them as an excuse. Get them involved. Um, if they're small, like little rural, make sure that they know whether it's a safe word or whatever, that they, run or they get into a safe spot. Make sure they know how to get out of the house in case of an emergency. And after they're out, where do they go? What do they do? Make sure that you get every single person in the house involved in your game plan. So let's see. We're getting close to the bottom and we're getting close to the time. So um, there we go. Thank you. Thank you. Is that legal in New York? Yeah. There we go. Yes, we've tried it outside. Each one good. Good. That's what I like to hear. Keep disciplined and safe. Yep. And oh, look at that. We got Devil Dog Prepper. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see that you snuck in there last minute, but that's okay. We're still going to say hi and welcome to you. Great to see you. And there we go. And if one of ours and got familiar with them, perfect. Yeah. And I will say that too. Thank you, Susan, so much for stopping by. Jimmy from Slim Chance Outdoors, buddy. I need to get your email. I lost your email. If you can email me because I want to set up so that way you and I can do a show together. Glad that you popped in there. Legal now. They were banning and overturning the unconstitutionality and haven't replaced it. Excellent. Yeah. So real quick, I know I'll end on this because I don't want to keep you guys too awful long. Use your stuff. Make sure you use it. Do not do anything along the lines of you bought it and it works. I'm just going to put it away. Use your stuff. Make sure that you look for expiration dates. Make sure that you do everything that it's going to do. Don't leave it out in the sun. Don't leave it out in the cold. There's a lot that goes into each and every item that you're going to have, especially if you're going to make it to where your life depends on it. Utilize it, practice with it. Make sure that you're comfortable with it. Make sure that you're comfortable that, if it gets taken away from you and used against you, you know what to expect. I'm not saying run out and grab a can of bear spray and unload. It's probably not the best of things. There's a lot of places that you can go to get out, some training and things like that that'll help you with it. But uh, please take that away from this right here, because that seems to come up a lot in tonight. Use your preps, food, water, all that. Don't just buy a life straw and throw it up. If you can, buy two, use one. So that way you know how it works, you know if it works, you know all the different ins and outs. Uh, use it, get it out, use it. Everything doesn't matter what it is. So yes, testing gear on a regular basis is very important. Thank you, sir. I've been sitting here saying all this and going on for 5 minutes, and you summed it up perfectly in one sentence. So yep, and have a great night. All right, so we've hit our 101 mark, so that means I went over, but that's okay, right? It's just fun time with friends, and we're just fellowshipping and having a great time. But we have come to an end of everything. If you're watching a replay, make sure that you leave a little comment. Let me know down in there that you watched the replay of everything. But I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the night and a blessed night. I want to thank each and every one of you so much for coming to hang out. We will be here at the same time, same place next week. Bring all of your questions, comments, concerns, topics, and everything like that. We rolled through. We didn't have any moments of silence or anything like that. You guys had some really great comments and questions and everything. So hats off to you guys. I love each and every one of you. But with that, I want to say make sure that you stay tuned, because there's definitely more information to come. And with that, I want you to remember to please remain united, because we're all prepping in this together.